Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is the first update of my 2026 project plan and I'm so excited to show you the progress I've made already. It's only been 3 months, but I've been very consistent and I have made really good progress. If you're new here, my name's Elise. I talk all things elevated living, conscious consumption, and being mindful of the impact that we have on the planet. So if you like those kinds of videos, I think you'll really like my channel, and Project Pan is just one of many things that I do in order to be more conscious when I'm consuming and being mindful of what I already have and what I'm not wasting. I think we all are very well aware that like beauty, skincare, and fashion can be extremely wasteful, but it's like a billion-dollar industry respectively. Doing Project Pan just kind of lets me like take a beat before I buy anything new. But don't get me wrong, I love makeup, I love skincare, I love fashion, but I can still love and enjoy those things and do it mindfully, and Project Pan is just one of those ways. This is one of the best lattes I've made for myself in a while. This is really hard to put down, but we gotta get into it. If you didn't watch my intro, I suggest you pause this video really quickly and go watch that one. I'll leave it linked in the description as well as a card up here just so you know what products we're talking about, and then also can see where I started from, like the baseline, and then where we are now. If you haven't watched one of my Project Pan videos before, I like to do 10 products across all different categories. It's different every year, and then when I use one up, I'll roll something else in, either in that same category or something completely different, just that I need to use up. So I've got my products here with me in my little broken makeup bag, but again, we're using what we have. This is not the most glamorous, but it gets the job done. For consistency's sake, I'm gonna go in the same order that I did my intro in, so that way you guys can follow along a little bit easier. First things first, we're gonna talk all things lips. Now, the first product that I chose to roll into my pan is the Sachu Lip Liner Stain in the shade Pinked or P-Inked. I'm not really exactly sure how you pronounce it, but I was really religiously using this in the beginning of the year and like doing like my entire lip, doing the full thing, like just to use it up. And now I've kind of like found a different product that I love a little bit more, which I will get to, and have kind of like taken my foot off the gas when it comes to using this. I also feel confident I'll be able to use it for the end of the year, but the reason why I bought this in the first place is twofold. First, I was influenced, like definitely, like TikTok really got me there. But secondly, I thought this product was gonna be super convenient, and I don't know, it's not that it's messy, but it like does take time for the product to set before you can peel it off, and then once you peel it off, you have this like dangly little skin thing that you have to find the trash can to throw away, and it's not something where it's easy to just do in the car and wipe off and then like you're good to go. You do have to dispose of like whatever the peel off part of it, and for me it's really not that convenient, and that's why I bought this product in the first place. So I have just been using it at home, like fully all over my lips, and trying to use it up that way because it's just not something I really love the user experience of. It's just not what I expected, and also I don't love the color, which is a shame because I thought this was going to be a little bit more like Your Lips But Better kind of shade, but it's actually really dark. I think I would love this a lot more if the shade were closer to my natural lip color. I have also found that using it as a full lip product doesn't really work as well as using it just as a lip liner, and for this much product to just be a lip liner, I don't know, it's like it's not doing it for me. I haven't like fallen in love with this and like used it because I can't stop putting it down, but it's gonna be something I think I'll be able to finish by the end of the year, and I'll just keep you posted. Up next, I have my NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in the shade Cruella. It is a very like ruby red, kind of purpley red shade and I love that it's velvet. I love that it's matte. It's amazing for winter time, and just kind of giving that like more mature, kind of like subtle look of just like, but still obviously a pop of red. However, I was trying to use it in like a fun new way as like color corrector under the eye. It didn't work, okay? Color theory already disproved my experiment. It definitely didn't really help brighten my under eye, but I was definitely doing that for a while, just experimenting, like what other fun ways can I use it, and I'll hold my hands up and say like that did not work, but at least I was like doing like a multi-purpose use for it. Don't do it though. Don't put red lipstick under your eye. I said in my intro video, this is either going to be something that's hard to work into my day-to-day or I become a red lip girly, and it's definitely the former. It's not something I find myself really gravitating towards. I did wear it to work one day. The way I love wearing this is like super neutral eye, but like a sharp black tiny eyeline wing. And then this. I think that's like very chic, almost very French to me. I think I'm gonna lean more into that during the summer. I did it once, like way back in the day, and I felt really like cute, but also chic, and then also like elevated, like sexy. Like I really did love that look. And like I've always said I have super small lips, but like with a little bit of a red lipstick, it kind of doesn't matter. It's more about like the carving out and the shaping. I was using this in a bunch of different ways, but maybe I can use it more like on the cheek rather than under the eye and work it in fun ways there. But I think I'm gonna get more use out of this in the summer as well. This Lancome cream stick in the shade Pale Lip, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a very pale pink like sheen. I did not ever gravitate towards this because it is a sheen. I actually have it on today though with a lip liner, and that's been the absolute best way for me to work it into my routine. And it is something I do gravitate towards a lot, actually. I'm very surprised. It works really well with like the lip liner I have on now, the more mauve. Then it also works with the browner lip liner and then also a purpley lip liner. Like this is just a grounding shade that works well with so many of my lip liners that I have actually been using this a ton. But unfortunately what happened is I lost it, and yeah, I haven't made as much progress. And then I finally found it. Like, for some reason I moved my desk around and it rolled behind there, and then I pushed the desk back against the wall, so it was literally stuck between my wall and my desk for I don't even know how long, like at least a few weeks. Now I have definitely made more progress on this, but unfortunately also I smushed the top with the cap, and I can't remember how I did this, but then after the first time it happened, I did it again. So I think I just need to be a lot more careful about like fully retracting the lipstick before I put the cap on, because now that I'm using it a lot and I'm really enjoying it, I definitely want it, it's funny, like I want it to last long, but at the same time like I do want to use it up. But I think what it showed me is like I just need like a really grounding pink shade if I want to be able to use my other lip liners the way that I do. Definitely gives me like something to think about and something to plan for in the future when this does eventually run out. Moving on into my complexion products, the first one is my e.l.f. HD Loose Powder. This, again, I explained like in my intro that I loved this and this was my go-to powder, but now I've gravitated more towards like pressed powders that actually do give a little bit more coverage and not any flashback. I have been using it a lot as after I do my eyeshadow primer, which is in my project pan, I'll go ahead and do like a loose powder on top. And I will be so honest, it's actually been the one thing that if you're an oily eyelid girly like I am, this is the one thing that has been keeping my eyelids from getting super greasy, super oily, breaking up all my makeup, having it settle into the creases. And it's funny because anytime I start a project pan, I get really inspired and like, how can I use products in different ways and like their initial intended use. And this is one of those things where I was only using it like under my eyes or like sometimes all over my face, but now I'm using it for my eyelids as like a setting powder before I go in with eyeshadow, and it has been working phenomenally. And again, I don't want to run out of this product, but it's funny because like the whole point is to use it up. I don't think I've had a project pan where I really felt like that with multiple products. Like, oh my god, I said I was going to use this up, but I'm like kind of afraid to. But that's also the environmentalism in me and like the guilt of like, oh my god, using it up and then having to throw it away. That's just like a whole different tangent, and I'm not trying to therapize right now, but that's kind of the gist of it. Like, I am excited to use this up, and I know it's like I bought it to use it, but now I'm afraid of it being gone. I don't know. Diagnose me in the comments if you want. But I have made a lot of progress with this. I mean, you'll see it on the screen from like the before and after, but like there's really not that much left, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the year. If they make like a travel size one of these, that would be great, but I'm also doing my no buy nothing new, so we'll see what solution I come up with. Next for Complexion is my Milk Makeup Contour Stick. Now I bought this a while ago in like a clean beauty haul and thought contour was for me rather than bronzer. Bronzer in my mind just made me look super muddy, but then I realized I just wasn't using it right. So now I do have bronzer and contour. And the thing about contour for me personally is like it takes your daily makeup from just like, oh, this is my daily easy quick makeup routine to like snatched and glam. Like that's what contour is for me. It's like that line in the sand of once you start to apply contour, you're going full glam. Like there's no turning back. Like you're sculpting and snatching and just making everything more defined and angular, which is fine, but it's for me not necessarily something I'm going to do every single day. So I have found this a little bit more difficult to use. Sometimes I'll just like throw on contour and like that's a crazy statement to say, but I do find myself trying to like work it in any way that I can. And I feel like I've been doing a decent job. Am I using it every single day? Like absolutely not, because I'm just not contouring every single day, but I feel like I have made a decent bit of progress. And I do, if I'm going to be using it more like on the low key side of things, I mean, under the cheekbone is like a very obvious place for it to go. But then I do also love applying it like at my temple and like at the tail of my brow and kind of like blending it up. That way it gives a more lifting kind of snatched look. I do love that. And then around my nose and a little bit under my bottom lip, I do think it gives like a nice cute little pout and maybe some more definition or like shaping to my nose, making it like a little bit more refined, you know, the power of makeup. This is definitely one of those things where it's gonna take me a lot longer than I think, even though this is like the small trial size. And that's why I buy trial size makeup. Like I'm not actually going full glam every single day. I don't need a full size contour stick. Like this is gonna take me long enough to get through. This is also in this shade Toasted, if you're curious. Now I have two blushes that I picked out. The first one is the Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten in the shade Tropic Hues. I think this is absolutely gorgeous, and it has been something where I'll apply just like on its own and it gives me just this glow from within and like does have a decent bit of like highlight in it. So the way I've been applying it is more towards like the top of my cheekbone and like where your highlight would go and blush would like kind of meet, and just kind of placing it there. It does highlight my like pock marks from just acne, so I try not to put it anywhere that it's gonna really bring attention to like texture or, you know, any unevenness on my skin that like I just don't want to really highlight. I am seeing little dots, I don't know what to call those, like when you start to really get to the gritting of like a makeup pan. I think that's what I'm starting to get into. I've definitely made decent progress with this, considering it's kind of more of a highlight to me, honestly. But I found that like swirling it all together will give like a gorgeous kind of like light pinky golden glow. I think this is going to be something I'm going to have on deck for summer. I'm usually not like a powders in the summer kind of gal, but this is genuinely so gorgeous. Very peachy, pink, golden-y glow. What I have been adoring for the winter, and I'm glad it's in my project pan, but it almost feels like cheating because I'm using it so often, is the Anastasia Blurring Serum Blush, which I've never really heard of before, but it's in the shade Plum. I have it on today, also with the blush I just showed you on top, but this is giving me like a really like healthy glow and like flush of like deep plum, which I really love. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think when I'm tan it's gonna look really good, even though like I don't really tan, I just fake tan. I think that will also really complement my complexion, and I'm excited to continue to use this because it has been a pretty easy product to work with. I wish I could use it on my eyes. I think that would be fun, and even lips. I wish this were like a trio product, but I have been using a lot on my cheeks, and I will say a little does go a long way. But I'm kind of at that point now where I won't just immediately squeeze out products. Like I kind of have to like take a little bit more time with it, which shows me that I am using a decent bit of it. So I'm not really sure when this will be done. I can't really see through the tube. Oop. I do have to squeeze down, like I was saying, like definitely a bit more before I start to get to the product. So I would say I'm like a third of the way through, that's like conservative guess. And lastly, we have All Things Eyes. So starting off with the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have a lot of these products because I won a Lexi Lombard giveaway and she's giving away a ton of PR, and I got beauty products and now I'm using them. I was saying when I first decided to use this palette, I think it would be good for me because of the shades, and I have dipped into every single shade besides 2, I think. And when you look at the palette, you can definitely see like I've used a decent bit of them and I have some favorites, and I do really love this as an everyday palette. The one thing that I just don't love about it is that it's very orange heavy, and like that's fine, that still looks good with like my complexion, I believe. I think I'm like a true autumn or like a soft autumn. I do want to get a color analysis and like really see what I am, but that's my guess. So like oranges are fine for me, but I just don't always want an orange eye. I just sometimes want something super neutral, like a soft camel brown is like as far orange as like I'm really willing to go. So I have been favoring the shade Rustic and Cypress Umber. Those have been really great for me. And then the Tempera, almost like, not like tempura shrimp, but like close. That has been obviously a really great highlight shade. All the glittery ones are great. The only 2 I haven't used are Sultry and Bronze, and those are just very deep colors. And you know what, I might have used them once, but they're not shades I revisit. So you know what, I think I actually have used every single shade at least one time, and I obviously have some favorites, but overall this has been a very usable palette for me, which I appreciate. I do think I'll hit pan on at least 2 shades in this palette before the year is up, so that's encouraging. This little tab is still in here, so let's peel it off together and like be super satisfied. Ooh, I hope that was as good for you as it was for me. My Tarte brow pomade that I found out that they no longer make in the shade Ash Blonde. We are really whittling away at this bit by bit, piece by piece. I feel like maybe this year is the year, maybe the beginning of next. I don't even know how I feel about I don't even know how I feel about brow products in general. I feel like they're kind of a waste of my time. I have decent brows, but then also when you do put on like foundation, you do kind of like need to revive your brow. So it's honestly too early for me to tell if I'm gonna even like repurchase something similar to this or just do something different entirely. That's where my head's at with brow products. I feel like once I use this, I'm gonna take a break for a minute. My last product and project pan for 2026 is my MAC Soft Ochre Pro Longwear Paint Pot. I got this to be an eyelid primer because I was struggling again with super oily eyelids, and I thought it's because I'm just using a concealer. It definitely is a mixture of like the products you're using, the brushes you're using, and how you're letting things like sit on your face. And I found that this is really good for me, but then also I got a soft matte concealer, the NARS one, that works just as well as an eyelid primer, so it feels really silly to have both of those. So I'm trying to use this up before I just like dive into the concealer to be like an everything thing for me. And I have made some really good progress on this. Like, there is a massive crater in the paint pot, which is great. The one thing I have to be cautious of is like when my nails get too long, I like dig into it, which is also kind of gross. I do just want to make sure I'm not wasting product by like digging into it and then having to like throw it out. But this has been something that I feel like is really easy to work through because it's kind of intuitive. Like, I will do this step no matter what anyway. I just have a lot of like dark circles and veins. Like, you guys have seen me without makeup, and like my eyes are just so dark in comparison to the rest of my complexion that something like this is always going to be a step in my routine, whether it is a paint pot or a primer or a concealer. It just is what it is. I'm just trying to make my way through this so I don't have duplicative products. This is the year of intentionality and refining and paring down and not becoming a minimalist for the sake of minimalism, but to actually have like less mental load and clutter of like decision making all the time and decision fatigue. I just want like what works to be what I have and not any extra clutter. I hope you guys enjoyed the very first update of the year. It's just so crazy to see how quickly or how slowly I'll work through certain products, and it just puts things into perspective, and it also makes me feel very satisfied with my makeup collection. Like, I don't need to continue to buy more because there's so much I still have to work through. And then also, of course, rediscovering things or falling in love with things or figuring out like this really doesn't work for me and moving forward again intentionally and consciously. If you like these project pan videos, I have an entire playlist, but also go ahead and like this video so that I know and I can keep putting them out for you. And definitely subscribe. I have 3 more of these coming up. This is just the first update. And then of course we have a couple more, and then the big finale one at the end of the year that you should definitely stick around to see. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want you to comment the lipstick mark emoji, the red one, like the really sassy one, just so I know you made it all the way to this point. I love you so very much. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I'll catch you in my next video. Until then, don't forget to be kind to yourself, others, and the planet.